Yeah, I want to have minimized it. All right, how prepared are you on coming trials? That's the subject matter. How prepared are you on coming trials? We have tests. Ezekiel chapter 36, 20 to 30. Ezekiel 37, 1 to 15. Ezekiel 4, 9 to 17. Deuteronomy 32, 31 to 36. Leviticus 11, Acts 10, Revelation chapter 3, verse 8 and verse 10. Revelation 11, verse 18. Exodus 19, verse 5. Deuteronomy chapter 30, 1 to 12. Jeremiah 24, 4 to 7. Hosea 3, 5. Matthew 24, verse 21. Psalm chapter 2. Isaiah 26, 9 to 13. Deuteronomy 4, 26 to 31. Don't bother about getting them to read. You can listen to the video later and you can identify them and read yourself. But for the benefit of what you are discussing, we want to look at what Yahshua said to us. We want to look at 1 Thessalonians. 1 Thessalonians chapter 5. That will be the text that we are going to use. 1 Thessalonians chapter 5. But before then, Yahshua made a point, a very strong statement in Luke 21, verse 36. Reading from New King James Version. Watch therefore and pray always that you may be counted worthy to escape all these things, that is tribulations, that will come to pass, and to stand before the Son of Man. Remember, the title of what we are talking about is How Prepared Are You on Coming Trials? Yahshua said, watch, therefore, and pray always, that you may be counted worthy to escape all these things, tribulations, that will come to pass and to stand before the Son of Man. All the things that we have to escape that will come. The trial, the tribulation, that is great tribulation, the wrath of Yahweh, the problems, Bible call it the time of Jacob's trouble, that will be unleashed upon the earth, will be so much that Israelites themselves, because everything will gear towards exterminating Israel, wherever they are. Remember my earlier discourse concerning the behavior, the attitude of Judah, how they treated Yahshua, how they killed him and so on. And at the end, what they are going to receive, particularly in the latter days, in the Gentile world where they are scattered. Now, the enemy is going to go after Israelites, wherever they are. The great tribulation will be stirred up by Satan to do what? To catch up with Israelites who will not follow his religion, who will not follow his whatever name of that religion is, whether it is Judaism, whether it is Islam, whether it is Christianity, whether it's Hindu, whatever the name is. Anybody that does not hew to wood and stone, to objects, to images, to pictures, to whatever that the enemy will use as his emblem or symbol to follow, to worship him, that person will be pursued until the person is caught up. But then, if the person is or has discovered or found Yahweh along the, the troubles of the world, the person through affliction and all that, seek Yahweh and find Yahweh, that person will be covered, will be protected. This is what Yahshua is saying here in Luke 21 verse 36, that we should watch and pray. From where will we get help? We will get help as we will try to find way to escape. We will get help in the time of tribulation, in the time of trouble, from Him. Because whether tribulation will come, whether trouble will come, whether persecution will come, whether affliction will come, whether famine, whether war, you call it sword, they will all come. They will come against the children of disobedience. Who are the children of disobedience? In this particular perspective, Yahweh is looking at His people who had disobeyed Him, who has rebelled against Him. So trouble will be, will be haunting them. Problems, difficulties of life. Let us look at Ezekiel. Ezekiel chapter 20. Ezekiel 20. He made a statement there. He made a statement reading from verse 33. Yahweh made a statement. As I live, says my sovereign Yahweh, surely with a mighty hand and with a stretched out arm and with fury poured out will I rule over you. Yahweh will be coming even in the Gentile world. Yahweh knows where His people are. Yahweh knows their address. He knows His people by their names, by whatever they are doing. And He knows those who are subject to Him, who obey Him, who serve Him, who worship Him. He sees them. He knows their hearts. He knows how they are striving to do His will, to follow after righteousness. And seek ye first the kingdom of Yahweh and His righteousness. So He knows those that are seeking His kingdom. He knows that they are seeking His righteousness. He understands what they are doing. He understands how they are feeling. He understands their desire. So in this way, He's ruling them. He's guiding them. To those that are faithful, following Him, He covers them. He protects them every day of their life. Don't think you are on your own. Don't think you are. No. Because we are not just living in the world. We are living in the nations of the world that are hostile to Israel. So Yahweh covered them. Even Yahweh covered them and their identity. So that the identities are not revealed. Say the tribe of Reuben, the tribe of Issachar, the tribe of Asher, the tribe of, those Israelites' name. All of them today, you don't hear them. And they don't know who they are. They can't say they are from this tribe or that tribe. Yahweh covered them, Yahweh protect them. Though He said they will lose their identity, and that's what happened to them, because they lost Yahweh, they forsook Him, and they followed another. But then, Yahweh is using that loss to cover them, to protect them from the eyes of the Gentiles, who ordinarily would have been going after them. So He's still protecting them. He's still ruling over them. And I will bring you out from the people. From this Gentile, He promised He's going to bring them out. And will gather you out of the countries wherein ye are scattered, with a mighty hand, and with a stretched out arm, and with fury poured out. So Yahweh is saying, Israel, I'm going to visit you in these latter days. And I'm going to deal with those who are rebellious. Let's read on. Verse 35. And I will bring you into the wilderness of the people, and there will I plead with you face to face. Like as I pleaded with your fathers in the wilderness of the land of Egypt, so will I plead with you, says my sovereign Yahweh. And I will cause you to pass under the rod, and I will bring you into the band of the covenant. And I will purge out from among you the rebels. Who are the rebels? The disobedient. The rebellious ones that has nothing to do with the covenant of Yahweh. They don't have, they feel the law is already fulfilled and removed, taken away. Yahshua fulfilled it. Yahshua, there's no need to obey the law again. That is what they tell themselves. So they follow the Gentiles to do whatever they like. They follow their religion. Their religion don't believe that the law is still alive today. They don't believe that the covenant is something that they have to put their heart and follow, obey Yahweh completely. So Yahweh said to those set of people, he will purge them out from among, he said, I will purge out from among you the rebels, and them that transgress, that break his law against me. I will bring them forth out of the country where they sojourn, and they shall not enter into the land of Israel. And ye shall know that I am Yahweh. Now, when Yahweh is bringing Israelites out, those that are not killed in the Gentile lands, they will also follow into the wilderness. But in that wilderness, he's going to judge them. Why? How? He's going to judge them because they are still following the Gentile religions. They are rebellious. They are unchangeable. They are incorrigible. They don't want to learn. They don't want to follow or do the right thing. They don't want to listen to Yahweh's instruction. Now, let us read what he said regarding his name, which they are still corrupting up to today. Let's go to Hosea. Let Hosea speak to us. Hosea chapter 2. Hosea chapter 2. We read verse 16. Let's take it from verse 14. Hosea chapter 2 from 14. Therefore, behold, I will allure her and bring her into the wilderness. Yahweh is still speaking. He is going to bring Israelites out from the Gentile world. As he will be taking them back to the land of Israel, to their kingdom. He will take them through the wilderness. This similar experience of the fathers from Egypt to the land of Israel will happen again. They will pass through the wilderness. And bring her into the wilderness and speak comfortably unto her. And I will give her, what is speaking comfortable? Speaking for comfortable here is the word that is being preached today. Is he going to pass the message? Is he going to give the instruction? Yahweh doesn't stop speaking to Israel. Continues speaking to them. I will give her vineyards from thence, and the valley of Achor for a door of hope. And she shall sing there as in the days of her youth, and as in the day when she came up out of the land of Egypt. Did you hear that? As the day they came out from Egypt. Yahweh will bring them out, and here he will be sending them back to their land. There they will live, they will plant, they will build, they will increase, they will multiply, they will become head, and no longer slaves, no longer terrorized by anybody. So they will be in power. To the point they will rise. To the point that they are going to rule the world. So that promise is still there. And they are going to receive it. That is the obedient ones. But guess what? The rebellious ones are going to get it rough. And are going to be destroyed. And it shall be at that day, verse 16, says Yahweh, that thou shalt call me Ishi. You shall call me your husband. You shall call me your father. Ishi can be husband or father. And shall call me no more Bali. You will no longer call Yahweh Bali. What does the Bali stand? Baal, God, Lord, Adonai in Hebrew. You will no longer call him all those stuff again. Those are titles. You don't stray away from his name. You must call him the name he commanded. Why is it so important? It's so important because Yahweh says he cannot mix himself, his name, with things of the world, with things that are idol, fetish, with things that are ungodly, things that are immoral, corrupt, wicked, things that Satan has touched, Satan is using, that is part of Satan, whether in title, whether in name, whether in anything. Yahweh has nothing to do with that. And he said, let the names of those idols, gods, whatever name or title they are, say, let it not come out of our mouth, or be pronounced, or be mentioned from our mouth. Now verse 17. Yes, Hosea chapter 2, verse 17, I continue to read. For I will take away the names of Baalim out of her mouth. The same thing is said in Exodus 23, verse 13. I will take the name of this Baal, Baalim, Adonai, Elohim, he will take them out of their mouth, and they shall no more be remembered by their name. They will not remember. This is a bit of all these names people call anyhow today. This is a bit of it. And he made reference to Jeremiah chapter 9 verse 14, Jeremiah chapter 23, 25 to 27, Amos 6 verse 10, Ezekiel 39 verse 7, and particularly Exodus 23 verse 13. Let's look at that Exodus 23, 13. Very important. When Yahweh says, steer clear, separate yourself from all these that has to do with identity of Satan, people think it's a joke. These are the hindrances, all those titles that people parade about. In the wilderness, Yahweh will remember, these people, they do everything. They go to, they worship Yahweh on the Sabbath day. They do the feast. They do virtually everything. But because of this singular act, putting themselves in the title of Satan, mixing title of Satan to his name, he said they are going to get it hot. And most, or in short, they will be killed. They will not enter. So all of those people will not enter. They will not enter the land. Exodus 23 verse 13. And in all things that I have commanded you, all things that I have said unto you, be circumspect, that is, be careful, and make no mention of the name of other mighty ones, neither let it be heard out of thy mouth. Do not allow all these titles, all these names that Satan has taken upon himself. He is the prince of the world. He is the God of the world. 2 Corinthians chapter 4 verse 4. He blinds the eyes. He snares, because there is snaring power of Satan in all these. It's like the music industry today. Satan has snaring power over all that. Footballing. Somebody will say, oh, what are you talking about? I tell you, research yourself through the scriptures. Satan has power, snaring power of that matter, to bind somebody, to tie somebody, to put somebody away from following Yahweh. So the person will say, but on the Sabbath day I attend the Sabbath service, I do this, I do my feast, I do all that he commands to do. Yes, but there are certain areas, including his name, one is not paying attention, or one is not being careful, one is not circumspect enough to follow his instruction. As a result, that person will be put into trouble. Even when somebody is serving Yahweh on the Sabbath day. Let's turn to Isaiah. Isaiah chapter 38. Yahweh made a statement. Sorry, Isaiah chapter 58. Not 38. Isaiah 58. 13 and 14. Isaiah 58. Listen to what he said. If thou, I want to also read from another translation. I will go to New Living Translation as well, but I'm using Restoration Bible at the moment. New Living Translation. Okay, let's take it through the Restoration Study Bible. If thou turn away your foot from the Sabbath, 13 to 14. From doing thy pleasure on my holy day, and call the Sabbath a delight, the holy of Yahweh, honorable, and shalt honor him, not doing your own ways, your pleasure, nor finding your own pleasure, nor speaking your own words, idle words. Do you know that when you engage on telephone conversations, talking about your businesses, talking about your own welfare on that particular day, you are doing your own thing? Our Father is a jealous Father. He said this day, Sabbath day, is his own day. Be careful what you do in it. It's all about him. Now verse 14, it says, then shalt thou delight yourself in Yahweh, and I will cause thee to ride upon the high places of the earth, and feed thee with the heritage of Jacob, your father. For the mouth of Yahweh has spoken it. Now, let's look at New Living Translation. How it, puts it. Keep the Sabbath day holy. Don't pursue your own interests on that day. Your own interests. Don't pursue them on that day. Whatever is your own, you, mine, yours, we should desist from pursuing things of ours. Except it is for the glory, for the praise of Yahweh. Except is the thing of Yahweh. That day is his own day, his own things you must take pleasure of. But enjoy the Sabbath and speak of it with delight as Yahweh's holy day. Honor the Sabbath in everything you do on that day, and don't follow your own desires or talk idly. Did you hear that? Then Yahweh will be your delight. I will give you great honor and satisfy you with the inheritance I promised to your ancestor Jacob. I, Yahweh, have spoken. Now, how is it? This is the name of Yahweh. This is Sabbath. They are at the heart of commandments. They are the heart of commandments. And Yahweh understands so clearly, so much. And that's why he calls us into obedience. You must obey it to the core, because that is where separation begins. The name of Yahweh, do you know it? Do you revere his name? Do you honor his name? Do you serve him? Do you do what you do based on his name? Now, do you serve him on his Sabbath day as he commanded you? Because he's going to judge his people. It is a token. It is a sign. It is a sign that represents ownership. Yahweh is our owner. Yahweh is our father. Yahweh is our everything. We didn't create ourselves. So we can't query him. Or we can't say, oh, wait a minute. We are going to do this, or want to do this, or want to add this. No, you don't have anything to add. You don't have anything to subtract. Jeremiah captured it very well. A potter and the clay. The clay cannot say to the potter, oh, do me like this, or paint me like this, or paint me. Oh, just wait a minute. Oh, next day you try to do whatever you want to. No. The potter has all the say. But many times we want to position ourselves and want to tell Yahweh, we are in control and we are commander, we can do whatever we want to do. Or just don't worry, follow us, Yahweh, follow us. Yahweh say, follow me. It's not the other way around. Now, this is Yahshua telling us, watch and pray. I'm going to protect you because tribulation is coming. Because trouble is coming upon the earth. Because it will be the time of taking you away to your land. So be careful. So that all those things that cause breaking of the covenant will not be found in you. If that happens, you are going to be in trouble. The enemy will catch up with you. Serious warning. Now, Yahshua himself again told us in Revelation chapter 3, 10 to 13. He made a statement. But that statement started from verse 8, where he said, because you have known my name, because you keep my commandments. But in verse 10 he said, because you have kept my commandments to persevere. When we keep his commandment, what do? We do not look back. We continue. No matter what the enemy may throw at us, no matter how it may appear that, oh, there's no way you continue, you can turn it anyhow, you can blend it anyhow. No, follow the instruction given. I also will keep you from the hour of trial, which shall come upon the whole earth, to test those who dwell on the earth. Behold, I am coming quickly. Now, this is Yahweh telling the obedient, the listening, those who shama, who hear his word, his instruction. Now, to those who hear his instruction, and to those who do not hear his instruction, listen to Revelation chapter 11. Yahshua made a statement. When he will be coming back, he made a statement that I have always appreciated to remind myself of his promises, of the goodies that are on the way. Revelation 11 verse 18. And the nations were angry, and thy wrath is come. Because this is the great tribulation time. And the wrath of Yahweh. Because after the great tribulation, there will be wrath of Yahweh. That is the time Yahweh will remember the wickedness of the nations. The nations that have been terrible against Israel. The nations that have been fighting Israel. The nations that have been destroying Israel. Killing, shedding their blood. Yahweh will remember them via his wrath, via his anger. He will remember them. Now, at that time, the nations will cry out. Here, and this is at the point Yahshua will be returning. And the nations were angry, and thy wrath is come, and in the time of the dead, that they should be judged, and that thou should give reward unto thy servants, the prophets, and to the saints and them that fear thy name, small and great, and should destroy them which destroy the earth. This is the period that shall be coming back to do what? To reward the saints, to reward the faithful, whether living or dead. He will reward them, he will bless them. But what of the other side of the people, the disobedient, the rebellious people? He said it is the time to judge them. It is the time that Yahweh is going to visit them. That's why the nations were angry. The wicked were angry, including Israelites. They will be denied life. They will be denied. But it's not going to wipe out the nations. No. But they will be rewarded in accordance to their doings. They will be paid the price. But Israelites themselves, who are disobedient, are going to be wiped out. Two sets of people. The obedient and disobedient amongst Israelites. The obedient people in Israel are going to be saved. He promised protection. He promised security. He promised when the trouble will hit the earth, the true children of Yahweh are going to be protected. Brethren, listen. This is very instructive. How are you preparing yourself in this latter days trouble? How are you preparing yourself? There will be famine. There will be swords. War. Sword will be everywhere. Bloodshed. People will be killed like animals. People will be killed in the street, in the bushes, in their homes. Unless you've not been reading the scriptures. Warning is everywhere. In the scriptures, in fact, the word of Yahweh is filled with this warning. Yahweh reported of the events that will happen in the latter days more than what happened between Israel when they were in Egypt and when they went back to the land. The latter days warning and direction, the instruction Yahweh put in place is huge. Look at the whole of New Testament, particularly the book of Revelation. Then when you look at the book of the Old Testament and the prophets, they are huge. All that happened at the time of old are shadow to what is going to happen in these latter days. But how often have we sit ourselves down and ask ourselves, what am I doing in this earth? What is my life? Where am I going? In all this trouble that are almost enveloping the earth today, closing up every day, am I saved? How will I be saved? Many of us don't ask of that. Many of them don't want to think about that. That is the trouble of the time we are. That is the trouble against the children of Jacob, children of Jacob, children of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. They don't think, they enjoy the Gentile world anyhow they like. And he said, trouble is coming, trouble is coming. Now, back to Revelation chapter 3, verse 10. What are you asked to do? Hold to the commandments of Yahweh. The trial is going to be greater than your knowledge. The test is going to be huge. Not many will escape it. Rather, many will be destroyed. Israelites will be destroyed. Only remnant will be saved. That is Yahshua telling us. That is what the Old Testament is also warning us about. We must be very careful to pick up what Yahweh is instructing us to be doing so that we don't fall prey. And that's why preparation is very, very vital at this particular time. If you don't begin to learn and put them at your fingertips, in your head, in your brain, and address it, live by that, all those things that you learn, and teach your children and your family, I tell you, when the trouble will begin, you won't know any. In fact, anxiety, running up and down will never allow. The fear alone will not allow you to settle, let alone learning anything. Because that time there will not be Bible. They will destroy, they will take away everything. What is in your head, what you have put in your heart, what you have put in your spirit, the word that he preached to you that reverberates in your ears, in your mind, is what you are going to go with. Because the enemy will chase and chase and chase and want to destroy his people. But he said he's going to save them. He's going to take them through the wilderness. Revelation chapter 12. Time will not allow us to read it. Revelation chapter 12. He made the promise, huge promise. Israel there is read as the woman. The woman that will be taken. Two women were mentioned. But the woman that will be taken to the wilderness is the woman that is going to save Israel. But they are remnant. But he said the children of this woman will be destroyed so much because they didn't keep the commandments, or they were partial in keeping the commandments. As a result, he's going to visit them with his anger. He's going to allow the enemy to rage, to destroy, and to pillage them. Now, these are the things that are pointed out by Yahshua that will be happening in the time he called testing time, trial time. Now the people of Thessalonians cried out. They cried out. When will this thing happen? When will it begin? How can we know? Or how can now Apostle Paul, Shaul, begin to address them, tell them, it's not of you to know about the time and all that, but it's for you to get yourself prepared. Whether it will happen in a week's time, in a month's time, in 1,000 years, in 2,000, is for you to get prepared. What if you fall asleep and not prepared, even before the great trial? How will you escape? Somebody that fall asleep, that dies and had not taken in the word and lived by it, the person will not escape. The person will not even be woken up when Yahshua will be returning, when the trumpet will sound. Now, let's read the day of Yahweh. The day of Yahweh. 1 Thessalonians chapter 5. I read from verse 1. But concerning the times and the seasons, brethren, that is concerning how and when all this will happen. Talking about the testing, talking about the trial, talking about great tribulation, talking about the wrath of Yahweh. At that particular time, when it will be happening, you have no need that I should write to you. Apostle Paul here began to address the Thessalonians. For you yourselves know perfectly that the day of Yahweh, that is Yahweh's wrath and Yahshua's return at that time, so comes as a thief in the night. That particular time, Yahshua will come like a thief in the night. Suddenly, how does a thief burst into the house of the victim? The thief doesn't come when the owner is awake. He comes when he is asleep. So that you catch him unawares, plunder, take away everything that you want to take away. So Yahshua will come when even Satan will not understand, will not know he's coming. Remember his first coming, Satan didn't know. Not even Israelites, those leaders. They were told it was prophesied, but they didn't follow the instruction. That's why they rejected him. That's why they said, you are not the one. It will happen again, brethren. It will happen again. The time Yahshua will, in fact, who they will embrace at the end of the day is the false Messiah. He said the false Messiah is going to come that will walk in the power of the Satan. The beast is going to come with all powers, all miracles, signs and wonders he will unleash upon the earth. And those that think they are following the right way, they are following Yahweh, they will miss the mark because they didn't follow the covenant word for word. They didn't follow his instruction, they didn't obey him, and they were not living by the Holy Spirit to direct them, guide it, because it's not enough to read the word. Without the Spirit, you can't read the word, you can't have understanding, you can't get the direction required. So all have to be encompassing and have to work together. Let's read on verse 3. For when they say peace and safety, now this is a pointer when that day of Yahweh will ensue. Great tribulation, trouble upon the earth, and the return of Yahshua. Because all this will be happening at the time of Yahshua's return. Now, I have looked at the Old Testament and the New Testament. There are two ways or emphasis about restoration of Israel. Old Testament appear to be telling us that Israelites will be restored before Yahshua will return. The New Testament is telling us that Israelites will be restored at the return of Yahshua. So those are saying the same thing about restoration, about taking them to the land. But the timing differs. The Old Testament appears to be speaking of Israelites going into the land, rebuilding the land, rebuilding the walls of the, preparing themselves, even with the temple and so on and so forth, and worshiping Yahweh as they were given the opportunity. When they left Egypt and they got into the land, they built the first temple. Even after built the second temple before Yahshua came in. The New Testament here is likening it as something that will come suddenly. Everybody, wherever Israelites are found, they will be lifted and be taken back to the land. Now, whichever one that is in vogue, what is important is preparation. Amen. What is important is preparation. Because there's no clear cut due to how Bible is written and how they remove so many information we ought to know. But I was seeking from the Spirit to let me know what, these two ideas of returning Israel to the land. Going first before the coming of Yahshua, and even when Yahshua comes, taking them at that time. How does it blend? I wanted to find out how these two blend. Now, the information I got is that Israelites are going to be moved when the tribulation, when the Gentile world will be in restive all over the world. There will be chaos. There will be financial crisis. Finances of the world will collapse. Central bank of the world will go down. They will want to grab everybody under the plan of the beast to do what? To abide by the worldly government, one world religion, new world order. Do you know what order is? Order is to follow a particular line of control, orderliness, authoritative way. Follow this authority, follow this order, follow this way. That is the way everybody will be commanded to follow. At that particular time, there will be restive in the world, there will be war in the world, there will be trouble in the world, and so on and so forth. Now, because of the trouble, Yahweh will want to save his people. He will move them to their land. He will plant them. He will wall them round. Enemies will not penetrate to destroy them. Okay. The war will continue. Things will continue. But it's no longer going to be uhuru. It's no longer going to be goodies with the entire world. But Israelites will find it goodies, They will find it wonderful. They will find it, in fact, what you call a perfect life. They will be living a perfect life. They will be living in safety. They will be living in plenty. They will plant, they will build, and so on and so forth. And the nations will be envious about them. Gog and Magog and so on and so forth. And they will want to find a way to fight Israel in their land. When they are living in their land, they will want to go there to destroy them. We've heard about Gog and Magog going to Jerusalem to ambush them, to destroy them. We've heard about the war of Armageddon and so on and so forth. That will be the period that Yahshua will be coming by. The nations will gather. Remember about how many million? 200 million soldiers that will march down to Jerusalem. To do what? Not to stage a war, but at that time, to do what? To ambush Yahshua, who will be coming, because they will have that realization that he will be coming back. So they want to go and ambush him. And they will gather all nations to themselves. The beast will be at work at that time. Now, this is the second area or version of what restoration is all about in the New Testament. At that time, when all this will be happening, Yahshua will suddenly appear, because somewhere along the line, there will be no light in the earth, there will be darkness all over, the stars will be falling, the sun will withdraw its light, the moon will withdraw its light, so much will be happening on the earth, there will be trouble everywhere, and suddenly Yahshua will appear, because the one that is deceiving them, that will take them to the land of Israel to fight Yahshua, will be the anti-Messiah and the beast. They will mount all powers available in the world to make sure everybody follows the beast, and they are going to rally around the beast to, stop Yahshua or destroy Yahshua if they can. Now, Old Testament gave us an overview of what is going to happen. Yahweh is going to rain fire from heaven to destroy those 200 million soldiers. Then that will be the time the last trumpet will be blasted all over the world from heaven. Then the dead first will rise, followed by those that are living all over the world. They will be now moved into the sky or to the cloud. From there, they will meet Yahshua in the sky. Then the marriage supper of the Lamb will commence, where people are going to be given positions to do what? For the reign of Yahshua, and for them to reign in the world, in the earth. So that is the second aspect of this Israel being moved. And the Gentiles think it is rapture into heaven. It's not rapture into heaven. So Israelites are going to be moved, if you like, in batches. The first, they're going to possess their land. The second, at the end of the age, when Yahshua will be returning, at the blast of the trumpet, then there will be release of those saints in the grave. Then the living will join them, and they will meet with Yahshua. Then that will be the commencement of the kingdom of Yahshua, who will now land at Mount Olive in Jerusalem. From there, he will commence his government. Jerusalem will be the capital of Israel. Not only capital of Israel, the capital of the entire world. Then, after training Israelites, those that are qualified, those that have made it into that land, now he will now disperse them into the world. To do what? To begin his millennium, 1,000 years. And all that will be coming after that. Have to put that in perspective to let us know about peace and safety that Apostle Paul is talking about here. This peace will be towards the end of the time. The beast will deceive as many as he can deceive. The governments of the world, the rulers of the world, will suddenly, because when the world economy will collapse, when there will be trouble all over the world, now suddenly the beast will emerge and tell them, oh, wonderful. He has all the capacity, all the power, and they will believe him. And to some extent, he has the power and the capacity. It's been given to him to do what? To play peace, to play safety. Then there will be a little bit of peace, safety for 3.5 years. After that, by that time, there will be rebuilding of, the temple in Jerusalem. And these people will want to go after, the beast, because the beast will want to take hold of the temple in Jerusalem. And they want people to worship him. As a result, many that will bow to the beast, the image of the beast, will be cut off. Then, he will use this peace, that is, the beast will use this peace, safety, to tie many people around him. And they will take his mark to bow to him when they will be worshiping him in that temple, the second temple or the third temple they are going to rebuild. Now, let's listen to Paul in verse 3, what he's trying to, the message he's trying to pass to us. For when they say peace and safety, that is, when people are saying everything is peaceful and secure, then sudden destruction comes upon them as labor pains upon a pregnant woman, and they shall not escape. The lawless, the wicked, the disobedient, the rebellious people will not escape. That is because of hearing the peace, people say, oh, we have arrived. Peace at last. You are the Messiah. Rule over us. Because he will come with powers, signs and wonders, miracles, and so on. People will plunge themselves to his rule. And that will be them taking his mark. Revelation chapter 14 says, none of them who take the mark of the beast, who bow to the image of the beast, will escape. They will be destroyed. Yahweh himself will pour fire, like brimstone and all mixture of sulfur and so on to destroy them. But you, brethren, are not in darkness. You don't lack knowledge of the word of Yahweh. Once you have knowledge of Yahweh, you are not in darkness. The word gives light. Word is light. The word of Yahweh is light. The word prepares us as salt of the world. Matthew chapter 5, 13 to 14 did tell us that we are the salt of the world. We are the light of the world. We salt the world, we season the world, we spice the world based on the word of Yahweh. And also we lighten the world, the whole world. Because the word of Yahweh opens the eyes, gives knowledge to those who are blind, who are in darkness, who are deaf. The word of Yahweh opens them up. So that this day, that is the day of trouble, should overtake you as a thief. So we have the word of Yahweh as light, as salt. We are the light, we are the salt, so that we will not be overtaken by the enemy. Because the enemy will act in those days. Because those days will be like darkness. The days will be dark. Or will be a time that no man will understand what is happening around him. So, because of lack of knowledge of the word of Yahweh, many will be consumed. Matthew 5, 13 to 15 says, you are the salt, that is seasoning or spicing of the earth. But if the salt loses its saltiness, how can it be made salty again? It is no longer good for anything except to be thrown out and trampled underfoot. You are the light of the world. A town built on a hill cannot be hidden. Neither do people light a lamp and put it under a bushel or bowl. Verse 5 of 1 Thessalonians chapter 5, verse 5. You are also sons of light and sons of the day. We are not of the night nor of darkness. Therefore, let us not sleep. What does it mean? Let us not sleep. Now, when we are not reading the word of Yahweh, when we are not doing what it says, the result of it is spiritual sleep or death. Now, continuing in verse 6. Therefore, let us not sleep as others do, but let us watch and be sober. Yahshua said, watch and pray. Let us therefore watch and be sober. Let us watch and be clear-headed, and be temperate, doing what he asked us to do. Luke 21, verse 36. Watch and pray. Verse 7. For those who sleep, sleep at night, and those who get drunk are drunk at night. What does it mean? What is he saying? When one failed to read the word of Yahweh, comprehend the word of Yahweh, when he failed to comprehend it, when the person failed to internalize it, doing, practicing it, being a practitioner, when the person fails to preach the good news based on himself as a living example, now the person becomes like one who is in darkness. The light will leave the person, the light of the world, the spirit of Yahweh will leave the person. Then the person will enter into darkness. The person begins to wander in the world like a foolish and drunken person. This set of people are disobedient, they are rebellious, and they do not understand the instruction of Yahweh and how to prepare to escape the danger around them. Verse 8. But let us who are of the day, that is light, be sober, that is be clear-headed, putting on protected. Putting on or protected. What are we putting on? The breastplate. What is the breastplate? Breastplate. Breastplate is the armor. What is the armor? Now, in the word of Yahweh, there is spirit of Yahweh given to us by Yahshua, who is the word of Yahweh. Now, in that spirit, there is the fruit of the spirit that comes out from the spirit, which is faith, love, and others. So this is what we are asked to put on. So Apostle Paul writing here says, but let us who are of the day, of the light, be sober, clear-headed, putting on or protected. That is, putting on the breastplate, the armor of faith. Don't miss it. Of faith and love. This is what is going to help you more. When you read the word, have you got the giving faith from the word? Have you? Yahshua is the word. Have you got the giving faith that comes out from the word via the fruit of the Spirit? Via the giving, the gift of the Spirit. Faith, very important. Love. We did mention last week, or last 2 weeks, sorry. If you look at this, when we talk about the 10 Commandments, we are reading Deuteronomy chapter 6. We are reading Deuteronomy chapter 6. And we are told, in fact we read it this morning, that we should shama, hear the word. And do what? Obey the word. Therein we are going to get blessing. Deuteronomy chapter 28, don't forget, is divided into 2. Those that obey, diligently do what the word says, they are going to be blessed. But those that refuse, they are going to receive curse. Now he said, what you hear is what? The commandments given, the covenant. The summary of it is Exodus chapter 20. That is the summary of it, the 10 Commandments, the Decalogue. That is what we have to put into our ears, into our hearts, and begin to practice it. That is what Apostle Paul is narrating there. That is where you find faith and love. Now this is how love comes in. The first 5 of these, do not worship gods. Number 1. Number 2, no images. Don't do any images or pictures or objects. Don't interact, don't worship, don't bow to them. Number 3, do not vain the name of Yahweh. Don't take the name of Yahweh in vain. Number 3, honor Yahweh's Sabbath. Keep the Sabbath day holy. Keep it as we read, even in Isaiah chapter 58. 13 and 14. Honor your parents. Yahweh is our first parent and the number one parent. Then our father and our mother, the biological father and mother of this earth. Now, if you look at this commandment, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which I've just enumerated, they all speak about the love of Yahweh. That is what he's telling us here, that we have to embrace the love of Yahweh. It comes from the commandment, the 10 commandments given to us. Now, have you put that in our heart? Because James, the brother of Yahshua, said it is the mirror through which we stand, through which we see ourselves, through which we do what we do. Whether we are doing things right or wrong, when we look at it, we see ourselves, whether we are getting things right. Now, Numbers, he said, do not kill. Number 7, he says, no adultery. Number 8, he says, no stealing, don't steal. Number 9, no lies, don't tell lies. No falsehood. Number 10, do not covet. No covetousness. Now, when we keep these 5 again, all we do, that is plus the name of Yahweh, when we keep them, we showcase love to our brothers, sisters, our neighbors. So these together are called love, all of them. When we do them, we fulfill the love of Yahweh and the love of our neighbor. And this is where our blessings flow from keeping the covenant that we are asked to put into our head, into our ears, because we have to hear and we have to do. So this is the call that 1 Thessalonians chapter 5 verse 8 is calling us. Have faith in Yahweh. Have also love of Yahweh. Have faith in what he asks you to be doing. Love yourself. Love your brethren. Love Yahweh. Amen. Do what the word of Yahweh states, not what you want Yahweh to change for you or how you want to change the word of Yahweh. Follow the instruction as given, because everything is the word of Yahweh, which is perfect. Now, when we do that, we will be protected. Are you hearing Apostle Paul? We will be protected. Read that verse 8 again. But let us who are of the day, that is light, be sober, that is clear-headed, putting on or protected, putting on the breastplate, that is the armor, the word of Yahweh, where we find faith, love, to do what? To enhance our goal, to enhance our mission, to enhance our call, to do what he commands us to do, so that we will get to the kingdom. Eternal inheritance. The kingdom is the goal. And as a helmet, the hope, that is confidence of salvation. That is it. That is what we are pursuing. Deliverance, redemption for eternal kingdom. That is what we are called to do. Now, protected by what? Remember again, we must be protected by his armor, the breastplate. Faith and love has to be instrumental. It will help you to defeat the world, to defeat sin, flesh, to defeat Satan. If you don't have faith, you don't have love, forget it. Because these revolve within the word of Yahweh, the fruits of the Holy Spirit, amongst others. There are other fruits that will equip you, but these are paramount. They are important as others as well, but they are, in fact, the first port of call to a believer to use, to apply. They are our weapon of warfare. Verse 9. For Yahweh did not appoint us to wrath. Yahweh did not appoint us to wrath, to anger or fury, but to obtain salvation. The trouble that is coming, the trial, the great tribulation, what that the enemy has laid there to unleash against the children of Israel, is not meant for you. But the children of Israel that are disobedient, that are rebellious, they are going to get it. Yahweh never packaged wrath against his people. No. So people are afraid that the great tribulation is for them. You can only be afraid because you are not obedient. You can only be afraid because you are not doing his will. You can only be afraid because you are not following his instruction. If you lack knowledge of instruction, his word is where to go. The word will teach you. The word will guide you. If you are not understanding, seek his servant or his child or person who understands his word to help you. So that verse 9 is very, very important to this call. For Yahweh did not appoint us to wrath or his anger or his fury, but to obtain salvation. That is what we are called. So that we can obtain salvation, freedom, deliverance, redemption. Through our Master Yahshua Messiah. He is the one leading us. He is the one guaranteeing our salvation. Now, this will be handy in the time of great tribulation and wrath, the time of escape, the time of trial, the time of test of the people on the earth. Because those that are not obedient, they will suffer shame. They will suffer persecution, affliction, and they will die. Verse 10. Who died for us? Yahshua died for us. That whether we wake or sleep, we should live together with him. That is the plan of Yahweh. Not that we will be destroyed. No, that is not his plan. If you obey, you will live Yahshua, who is awake, who has woken up from the dead, and gave us fruits of the Spirit, gave us blessings of Yahweh. The promise of Yahweh is in Yahshua, and he has endowed them to us, that we should be saved. That is the plan of Yahweh, not going into destruction. Who died for us, that whether we awake or sleep, we should live together with him. Therefore, comfort each other and edify one another, just as you also are doing. Now, let me take this in New Living Translation, that verse 9, very important. For Yahweh chose to save us through our Master Yahshua HaMashiach as the Messiah, not to pour out his anger on us. HaMashiach died for us so that whether we are dead or alive, when he returns, he can live with us forever. So encourage each other and build each other up, just as you are already doing. This is Shaul's exhortation to the people of Thessalonica, and is very important in our days, in this our time, so that we get ourselves plan, how to overcome the trouble, because trouble is looming. Trouble is so soon. We have forgotten the plan of the kings of the earth, the globalists of the earth, who were to, overrun the earth, overrun the people on earth, particularly Israelites. How they plan what they planned. But the children of Yahweh cried. Apart from their prayers, Yahweh remembered Ezekiel chapter 37. Yahweh remembered his promises that he made with Abraham, that he will save his seed, his children, even in wherever they are. He told Jacob, wherever you go, I will be with you. He remembered that promise, and he stopped the enemy. 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, he did say in verse 6 and 7 that the timetable is not in the hands of the beast, neither is it in the hands of those who are ruling the world today. The timetable is in the hands of Yahweh. So he decides what happened. He decides when the great tribulation will start, the test, the trial, the wrath. He decides when it will be unleashed upon the earth. Then, would you know? No. Only Yahweh has it at his fingertips. Yahshua said he doesn't know even the time. Our HaMashiach says he doesn't know. The disciples didn't tell us because they pressed Yahshua to tell them. He said it was in the hands of the Father. So if that is the case, and here we are told to get prepared at all times, because we don't know. Yahweh held it to himself because he wants to beat Satan again. He doesn't want Satan to have full knowledge of his agenda or his own plan, so that he doesn't watch it before our face. So everything is in his hands. Get yourself prepared. Stop delaying. Stop dilly-dallying. Stop looking left and right. Stop hunting religions, following religions. Be straightforward. Be exact. Be, up and doing. Follow his instruction. And when the trouble will come, he understands your heart. He knows the intent and purposes of this goal to, enter into the eternal kingdom, to receive that eternal inheritance. This is the reason Yahshua died. He wants to save us. He wants to redeem us. He wants us to be part of the kingdom, not to be destroyed. Don't think he wants to destroy you. Unless the individual or the person is destroying himself. Yahweh doesn't have hand in destroying people, but people are destroying themselves. And he's calling us out of that destruction today. Are you listening? Are you hearing this message? Please be clear of what you have chosen. Choose the path of righteousness. Choose the path of obedience. Choose the path of salvation. Choose the path of life. Choose the path that says the inheritance, the everlasting or the eternal inheritance is for you. Because it is for that reason Yahshua died, that we might inherit the kingdom. We are called, we are encouraged to be part of this. He said we should continue to encourage ourselves in this every time until we are restored into that kingdom. So restoration is coming. Israelites will go back to their land, be part of it, and Yahweh will bless you. Amen. May Yahweh hear you. May Yahweh hear our cry, even when we have no solution to help ourselves. In such difficult times, such difficult moments, may he give us relief. May he give us understanding. May he help us to be focused and to continue to do his will. And when the trumpet will sound, may we not be found wanting, but to be part of the kingdom in Yahshua's name. Hallelujah.